Hey everyone, welcome back to Fresh Squeezed RC, and as promised, today we're going to be talking about really tiny trucks. We got the Axial SCX24 over here and the brand new Kyosho Mini-Z over here. Both of these trucks are really great trucks in their own respective ways. I think they're drastically different, and about really the only thing they share in common is that they're four-wheel drive, they're RC trucks, and they're really tiny. In this video, what we're going to do is talk about what makes both these trucks good, what might make both these trucks bad, and maybe that will help you make an educated decision on which truck is right for you. I think they both have their merits, and I think they're both a lot of fun to wheel. So before we get too far into this, I do want to take a second to thank everyone who tunes into the channel. It means a lot to me. I'm going to try to keep bringing y'all more content. I am still working through all this crazy stuff that's going on in the world. So, you know, I can't just stay home and make content. I wish I could. That'd be rad. But I am going to try to step my game up. I do want to bring y'all more content, and I want to bring you the coolest content around. So I'm hoping to acquire some more camera equipment and lighting, of course more RC cars and more places to go shred. So stay tuned. I've also got some really killer projects coming up, some Hoonigan replica stuff, some stuff that's not Hoonigan stuff at all. Well, I guess you could consider it Hoonigan stuff because it's going to be super rad and it's going to shred. Alright, now that we got the camera in here just a little bit tighter, we're going to take a closer look at both of these trucks. And like I said, we're going to talk about the pros and the cons and hopefully help you decide on which one you want. But first, let's talk about the transmitters. Alright, so the Kyosho transmitter, you know, it's really just kind of like a 2/3 version of some of their full-size transmitters. It takes 4 AAA batteries, it's got a nice foam grip, it's got several function adjustments right there on it. It's extremely ergonomic. It's really nice. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, this is a really nice transmitter. Now the Axial comes equipped with this AX4 transmitter. It's also pretty nice. It's got a nice foam grip. You know, it's fairly ergonomic. It takes 4 AA batteries versus the Kyosho one, which takes 4 AAAs. So same thing, runs the car and the truck. But we'll get into that in a minute. 4 AA batteries, foam grip. It does have a little cover here so you can adjust your trims and stuff. Not gonna lie though, if I had to pick between these two transmitters, I'm gonna pick the Kyosho one every time. I mean, y'all tell me. So getting into the trucks, just right off the bat, let's talk about the styling and the bodies. So, you know, the Axial SCX24, it's got a pretty cool Jeep body on it with the CRC logo and Axial stuff. You know, it's got lights in the bumper, which are cool. It is a clamshell hinge design, so that's convenient. It has a single pin right here. You know, so it's not a bad looking body. It's got this cool Axial spare mount cover kind of thing back there. I wouldn't call it scale though. And I will say this about this body. You know, it is Lexan, which is, you know, that's typical. No, I'm not griping about the Lexan. What I am complaining about is the fact that I had to cut the fender flares completely flat, basically front and back on both sides before I could even run this truck. So yeah, to have to cut the body on an RTR kind of vehicle in order just to be able to play with it, because the fenders got into the tires so bad that it would put the truck in a bind and it would basically amp the truck out and it would stall the truck out. So, you know, that's not so great. But otherwise, you know, I don't have a problem with the body. I think it actually looks pretty cool. I mean, who doesn't like a nice off-road Jeep truck? And getting to the Kyosho truck. So, as you can see, this is a little bit smaller truck. The Kyosho Mini-Zs are 1/27th scale. The Axial SCX24 is, you guessed it, 24th scale. Beyond the size comparison, let's just talk about the scale features. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see who's winning the scale game here. And, you know, it's not because I'm a Kyosho guy, and I am a Kyosho guy. Everyone has their favorite brand. Everyone loves a certain brand of RC more than others. It's like, but as you can see, I mean, the Kyosho 4Runner body is pretty perfect. I mean, it is super scale. It's extremely good looking. You know, like I said, it's quite a bit smaller, and I didn't have to trim it. Another thing, it's hard body, so, you know, for those really scale hardcore guys, that's important. And The Kyosho does not come equipped with lights, but Kyosho does say they will be offering a light kit for these things very soon. So that'll be a cool addition too. Alright, well, let's go ahead and talk tires. Both these trucks come equipped with Nitto brand tires, officially licensed tires. These are Nitto Trail Grappler MTs. They're really aggressive, really nice looking. You know, pretty large. Like, this would be a really beefy Jeep in real life. This thing would be running like 40s or 42s. But I mean, these work really great. No complaints there. I think they're Method wheels, I want to say. If not, they're styled after them. That's kind of Axial's thing. Really great wheel and tire package on the Axial SCX24. As you can see, the difference in the tires is pretty significant, but so is the wheelbase on the trucks and the overall size of the trucks, I would say. But respectively, they both work really, really well. I would like to see a more aggressive tire on the Kyosho. I think that would only help its performance, obviously. But overall, really nice packages on both of the trucks. The ground clearance is actually very similar on both trucks. The Kyosho does a great job of providing a lot of ground clearance in a really small package. But like I said, they both work really good. The Axial is almost like running a droop setup. There's very little down travel. I mean, that's it. That's all there is. So it's almost on the stops already. You know, you get a little flex out of it. It's very softly sprung, but the truck is also extremely light. I would say the Kyosho is almost, I don't know, at least a third heavier. It's quite a bit heavier. Alright, so with the bodies off, you can get a better look at the way the trucks are laid out. As you can see, the Axial uses a clamshell design, which is neat. Just that one body clip in the front. The Kyosho uses a clipless design. So basically it's got these posts here on the bottom of the truck, and they snap into these holes here on the chassis, and that spring metal is what holds it all in place. It's really slick, really good idea. There's a lot of things to cover on this chassis. I mean, Kyosho's, you know, been around the scene for a long time. This is kind of their first miniature foray into the crawler world. They did make a really cool crawler a few years ago. I wish it's still made, because I would definitely want one. But we're talking about the Mini-Z right now, so we'll stick with that. So as you can see, you know, it's got a twin I-beam or C-channel style frame rail. C-channel, my bad. It does have your coil spring shocks. You know, both these trucks are kind of similar in their layout. The servo is mounted way far forward. That's where the batteries go. And then you've got your transmission, your receiver, and there's a couple ports in there for lights. So there is definitely going to be some cool accessories coming up. You've also got a spare tire mount. The Axial does have a similar layout. The servo is actually axle mounted. So the Kyosho has a chassis mount servo. This one has an axle mount. As you can see, this is the Axial all-in-one ESC receiver style setup. It does come with a little 30C LiPo battery, which is cool. And I do want to address the AAA battery thing with the Mini-Z that everyone it's very polarizing. You either love it or you hate it. Me, I don't care. Honestly, the truck runs so long on 4 AAA batteries, you wouldn't believe it until you've driven one. So that being said, I can easily promise you that this truck runs twice the time that this truck runs on its LiPo. And you know, and that's just facts. I've driven them both. I've had them both. I've had the Axial since before I've had the Kyosho. So, you know, guys, don't think I'm, you know, of course, like I said, I do like Kyosho products, but I have lots of Axial products. I have Traxxas products. I have Arma products. I have a lot of different RC cars. Looking into the suspension setups, they both have coil spring type suspension, you know, coil over. The Axial does have kind of cool little molded in reservoirs. Kyosho, again, coil shocks. The Kyosho shocks are longer and do have more travel, but they don't have the reservoir. So with the trucks turned over, this is where things kind of get interesting. So the thing I can't really explain to you or show you, I guess, on YouTube is the way the diffs are geared. So the Axial uses a worm gear style diff, so it's like a top load pinion, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that, except for the fact that unless the vehicle is under power, it is in a complete and total bind. So like deceleration or going downhill with this axial becomes much more difficult. Now, the Kyosho uses a more standard style ring and pinion, which makes a huge difference when you're crawling. This truck will actually engine brake itself down a hill, which is unheard of for this size machine. Both of these vehicles do have plastic drive shafts, front and rear. Another part where they differ, though, is that the Axial uses plastic links, and it's a 4-link style setup. The Kyosho uses plastic rod ends and metal links, which are adjustable. So that gets the nod for me. It uses kind of a 3-link wishbone style setup. So the top link connects in 2 spots on the rear axle and just 1 on the center skid. But I don't notice any ill effects on the handling or anything like that. I mean, it's been around a minute. All right, so we're going to talk about what everyone else is kind of wondering probably is what is the capability differences between the two. Now, they're both extremely capable trucks. And I will say, I think that they're kind of equal in the capability department. I think when you talk about, so, I mean, the size of this truck and the size of this truck are, you know, obviously a little bit different. I mean, the Axial is a little bit bigger. So it's kind of like comparing an 8th scale crawler to a 10th scale crawler. So when we're talking, you know, basically 10th scale to 8th scale crawler, I think they're both extremely capable in their own right. I do think the Kyosho requires a little bit more driving technique, but it also provides a much more realistic driving experience. And it's hard to explain, but if you drive both these trucks together, you'd know what I was talking about. Basically, between the two trucks, one feels alive. One feels like a crawler truck in your hands, like your 10th scale crawler. And that's the Kyosho. And then one feels kind of disconnected, and that's the Axial. And like I said, I have Axial products. I like Axial products. I don't have a problem with it. But on that same token, I mean, two vastly different price points. You know, right around $200 for the Kyosho, and right around $100 for the Axial. With pricing, it becomes an issue of, you know, what you're wanting to get into. Like, how far are you willing to go? Do you really want the super scale aspects of the Kyosho, or do you just want a tiny truck that you can go play with? I mean, like I said, they'll both perform great. They're both going to do what you want them to do, but, you know, it just comes down to a matter of what you're wanting. I mean, the Mini-Z has its own culture, its own, like, heritage, its own following. I do think that they're both great trucks. I think they both have a great spot in the industry. And I think the only thing left to do is run them on my homemade tiny crawler course. Alright, so first up we got the SCX24 Jeep from Axial. Now, like I said, super capable truck. It works really good. It's just, there's not a lot of feel to it, but it is very capable. Oh, let's back up. Now, I would say the battery in this truck probably, I don't know, 20 minutes max continuous runtime if I had to guess. I don't know a lot of people personally that have these trucks, but based on what I've seen, you're talking about 20 minutes. So as you can see, I mean, it goes right up, no problem. Now let's see how the tiny Axial makes its way down the homemade crawler course. So we're going to go past the majestic sheep. Don't crush the shroom. It's not a kid's show, I can say shroom. Make a hard turn. Hardish. Oh, hanging a wheel there. What's up? I mean, this course is just made out of kind of stuff you can buy anywhere. And, kind of the way this truck is. You can get this thing pretty much anywhere. This is a pretty cool little truck. It looks really good. My daughter loves it. I actually bought this for her, and she's had an absolute blast with it. Alright, now for the tiny Kyosho's turn. Let's see how the little 4Runner does on the homemade course. We're going to scare the cave pig out. It doesn't like loud noises or radical trucks. It's a lame pig. Up and around. Working good. I don't know. I like the way the Kyosho works. It just seems more connected. It seems like you're more in tune with the vehicle. But maybe that's where the difference in the price comes from, is that extra control and that extra, feel that you get. But you can decide for yourself if it's worth it. As you can see, I mean, right up, no problem. Running over the cow. Alright, let's take this party back to the bottom. We're going to go up and over. And down the slippery slopes. Over the rocks. No problems there. Really fun trucks. Both these trucks. I think this is the perfect way to practice your social distancing skills. I really appreciate everyone who tuned in and watched this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. And I will see you guys in just a couple more days with some really, really killer action. I promise you, some amazing stuff is coming. And like I said, I want to thank everyone again for all the support. It's been incredible. This whole RC ride has been absolutely amazing. Just the people I've been able to meet and the companies I've been able to work with. I can't say thank you enough. And I never would have thought, I'd be able to, go hang out with the Hoonigans and, build their replica cars. I mean, it's been really, really awesome. So to kind of pay y'all back for that, I'm going to do a giveaway, and it's going to be YouTube based. So it will be a subscriber only giveaway, and it will be for a brand new RTR car of some sort. That's all I'm going to tell you right now, but you won't be disappointed. You're going to love it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Stay rad, my friends.